Well, where there is smoke, there is always fire. And when I say smoke, I mean the NASCAR driver that goes by that nickname, Tony Stewart. Three-time champion and team owner. He has a reputation as a hothead at times, a guy who tells it like it is, but who on the racetrack backs it up. Problem is, Stewart hasn't competed on a racetrack in quite some time. He's been relegated to driving around the garage on a scooter because of this accident back in August. Stewart loves to race in anything that he can. In early August, he was racing sprint cars, not stock cars, at Southern Iowa Speedway when he was caught up in that wreck. He broke his right leg in 2 places. He was taken to the hospital, had surgery immediately after. Our Marty Smith sat down to discuss the road back with Tony Stewart.
So you knew in the moment that your leg was broken. When they put you on that stretcher and they're getting ready to take you away, what's going through your mind?
I was supposed to be in Atlanta the very next morning to tire test, and the team was already down there. I knew not only was I going to miss that, but there was a good possibility I was going to miss that weekend coming up, and probably a lot of races.
Why did you have to hide it?
We didn't have anybody lined up to drive a car if I ever got hurt or anybody else in our organization got hurt. It was something we had never had to plan for. So we went from all of a sudden being in a scenario that everything's moving along to now we've got to come up with a solution to the problem. And it's not going to happen in 5 days or 6 days. So we had to somewhat keep it low enough that the team could still function on the weekend. We came with a short-term solution and then had to come up with a long-term solution to get through the rest of the year.
You're used to walking into that garage, and you're used to having a certain image. You're used to having a certain clout. There's a certain thing that is Tony Stewart. How has going into the garage on a scooter given you a different perspective of who that Tony Stewart is?
I was embarrassed about having to do it, but we just kind of embraced it and had fun with it. And, you know, we decaled the scooter up. We made a brace for my foot to sit in. And it was like, this isn't the way that I want to go in the garage area, but I get to go in the garage area again. And that outweighed the embarrassment of not being able to walk in there and have that swagger.
How has your pain evolved over time?
It's getting much better. But therapy is tough. Anybody that's ever had an injury and had to go through therapy, you know, everybody told me when you get to therapy, and I didn't believe them. They go, you'll cry. Everybody goes, you'll cry. Like, I'm not going to cry in therapy. I've cried in therapy.
How confident are you that you'll compete in the 2014 Daytona 500?
Barring any major setbacks, I'm 99.99%. I mean, unless something happens, we're on schedule to be back for Daytona.
What impact does this situation have on your future as a sprint car racer?
I'm not going to just stop doing it because I got hurt once. I mean, people get hurt in car wrecks every day, and they don't stop driving a car the rest of their life to work. So it's my passion. It's what I want to do with my life. Describe
that passion for me and why it matters so deeply in your soul.
I don't think everybody is passionate about anything, but I think most people are passionate about something in their life. And for me, it's always been racing. I mean, I was born around racing. My mind from the earliest moments, the earliest memories has always been thinking about racing.
What would you be without it?
I wouldn't be. I can't imagine myself without it. If you took all that away from me, there is nothing. There's nothing left, in my opinion. If you take any of that away from me, you've ripped my heart out, and there's nothing left.
Yeah, it's tough for anyone to imagine Tony Stewart not racing. From the beginning of his career in 1999 through the end of last season, he had never missed a Sprint Cup start. Of the 4 drivers to make all 500 green flags in that time period, only Jeff Gordon is within shouting distance of Stewart's 47